Here we have your typical metal bender available from every import tool store. Princess Auto in Canada, Harbor Freight in the States. It comes with dies like this, but what it doesn't come with are dies for bending tube. This is the tube bending die we like to make, and the tool we use to make it. This is our radius turning tool. We just have a piece of hex stock turned down to 5/8 diameter with a 3/8 square hole broached into it. A 3/8 diameter with a 3/8 thread on the end. The hole takes our turning tool. Just a point ground down with relief. Drilled and tapped to lock it in place. And then our tool body is just a piece of bar stock with a bushing pressed in, reamed for a nice sliding fit on this shaft. And then we have just a lock nut to snug up to take out any play that's in there. We've got our tool set up in the tool post of the lathe. I made this a long time ago for a much bigger lathe, so it's a bit too tall for this lathe. That's why I'm holding it in this vise here, which I normally use for coping tube. To set our radius down, we're going to bring our tool in, bring the dial to 0, and then we'll back it up 3/16 of an inch, because if this is 5/8, we want to set it for a 1-inch tube. When we bring our tool back out till the dial reads 0 again. A quick way to check if your tool is on center. Just pinch it against the work with the scale. And you can eyeball that scale up and down. Here we're slightly high, so we could lower it. And once the scale looks perpendicular, you're on center. We got a nice little radius taking shape. You'd want to keep going a little bit past half the full radius to leave a little flat section to help support the tube during bending. But that's the general idea anyways. So here's a die that's been turned. Takes a 3/4 inch tube nicely. Nice and snug there. In order to set up our die in the bender, we need to drill a hole through the die that's going to match one of the holes in your bender, and get a bolt in there for an anti-rotation pin. And here's a shoe I made. Just drilled a hole through a piece of bar stock, sawed off the edge, drilled a couple holes in there. When you're happy with the setup of your dies, the first thing you want to do is get a piece of tube and pull a 90. When you're happy with your 90 degrees, you want to note exactly where on your die that this bend starts. And then you file in a little notch in your die and mark it so you can see your tube where the bend starts. So now you should check out Tube Bending 101. I believe it was published first on the Pirate 4x4 forum way back when the internet was first invented. And basically it goes like this. If you want to bend an angle like so, you take your tube and slide it up to where the radius touches the bend. And you mark where you saw your tube touch on that tangent point. And you set your angulometer to the angle. And then transfer that mark to your tube. It's kind of hard to see, but we have that mark on our tube lined up to the notch we filed into our die to mark the start of our radius. And then we just pull it to the angle we set. So we stopped a little short, needs another little bit of a tweak, so we'll move our stop to where we think it might make it. And we have a couple of little blocks for half hole distance for the next position. Just keep dialing it in until you got what you want, and then repeat all night long until you get them all the same. And always remember, Bondo and paint can make a welder what he ain't.